everybody, it's Lisa with Junk Journal Gems. We are back to sewing signatures in, and I'll bring you up to speed on what I've done since we last were together. I corrected this piece, number one. Oh my. So this is fixed, but I also went ahead because of the space that's going to be in between the signatures. I wanted the binding part to be decorative, so that since there will be space, it won't look so plain or stark in between, although I will be puffing it up by putting some additional things in there, but that's just how I wanted this particular journal. I went ahead and used the template to punch the holes in the binding. So all the holes have been punched in, and I went ahead and sewed in the middle signature. But what we have to do next then is to sew in the first and the third signature. So I've got our book of holes out here again, and here is the first signature, which we've already double checked that all of the pages are in the right order. And we are going to now move the template so that we're in the first set of holes, making sure the line is at the top and the bottom where we want them to be. And pinch that in there. Make sure that the pages are all nice and tight again at the fold. Let's put this one in. It's hard to get this, but I think I've managed. We'll see. Sometimes you just gotta kind of do the best you can. All right, make sure that this is in there tight and that this is in tight. All right. Time to punch some more holes here. Okay, so this is the first one. Like how I have to tuck myself through this. All right, you gotta push kind of hard. Okay. Oop. Need to use my muscles. Okay. Let's make sure I went all the way through before I remove the template. Good there. And I think we are good. Oh, need a little bit more. Okay, we came through the other side. So we're good there. Now we can sew in the first one, and I think I have enough wax thread here on my needle. I find it helpful to grab a little bit longer of a needle, and one because the wax thread is thicker, one with a fairly decent sized eye. Oh, make sure you take your template out. Okay. And again, I'm making sure all that is tight. All right, let's get this in. Go toward the front. What I always do is I start by putting my needle in and then in the middle. So we'll go to the back, out the top, in the middle, back up the bottom, and then back in through the middle. So watch this. We go down in the middle, coming out the back of this piece that we made. And you want to leave yourself enough thread here in the middle so that you can tie your signature off. So you're going to have to kind of hang on to that a little bit. And then we're going to go in the back of the top hole. So what I usually find I need to do is to come up through the binding first. Come on. And then come in through the signature. Otherwise, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Sorry if that came right up at the camera. And all the while you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure that your signatures, or your stitches, are tight, because you don't want a floppy signature inside your book. You're going to have to keep peeking as you go through. That's totally fine. Okay, now we're going to come up through the bottom hole. This is really awkward to show on camera because in order for me to see what I'm doing, it's difficult to show you. So I'm just finding and peeking to find the bottom hole of the signature pages. All right, I'm in the bottom, making sure it's tight again, and then I'm going to go in through that middle hole again. So here's the back, and I want to pull out the end here. And then what I do is I wrap it around the top one, and then I'm going to bring it back through. You'll have to search for it a little bit. You're gonna need to be patient a little, which for me is always a difficult thing. And you can kind of feel when you're coming through. There. Just be careful not to poke yourself. All right. So here's how this goes. Got it really tight. I'm going to take my needle off, and I'm going to tie it once, twice. I tie it 3 times. I don't know. It just makes me feel better. The nice thing about the wax thread is it holds that really extra well. Now before, when I was just starting out making junk journals, I've, in the absence of having wax thread, I think in my first couple journals that I made, I want to say I actually used dental floss, waxed dental floss, and that actually works pretty well. But because it's a little thinner, you might want to use a double strand. I've also used crochet thread, and the same thing, depending upon the thickness of that, you may need to double up. So, okay, we've got the first signature in, the middle signature is in, and see how now what I meant about that alligator mouth, because I've got so much in here that's puffy. But if I have it open in between the signatures, then I see this beautiful crochet lace in there. All right. So let's get the third signature in. And what we do first is we check to be sure the pages are all in right. There's nothing worse than getting all your stitches in only to have to cut them back out. Take that out so it's out of our way. And fix it later on. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, make sure your pages are even and positioned in the signature as you want. What I mean by that is if you have, like with these Edith Holden pages, if I wanted it down toward the bottom or up at the top, you can move it around in the signature. Just make sure it's where you want it. All right, upside is up. Here we want the back piece or the back row of holes. Line that up at the top and the bottom and get our binder clips. I like binder clips because they hold nice and tight. If you didn't use binder clips, I don't know that, oh, what are those littler craft clips called? I know quilters use them. I don't know what they're called. I don't know that they would hold as tight as binder clips. They might. I've never used them, so I don't know. All right, so we're going to punch holes again. Top. There's the middle. and the bottom. And then I always like to, sorry if my head was in there again. Oh, I don't have that one. There we go. Oh my, got it that time clear down into the signature. I was making sure I had it. Okay. Oh, this one isn't. Okay. Let's see. There, good. All right, let's get this one in. And we need some more thread. They're also on Amazon if you prefer to buy the thread this way. They sell actual bookbinding kits with a tool. I'm not sure what all it includes. It includes the thread and the tool, the pokey tool. I'm not sure what else is in a kit, to be honest with you. But you certainly, if your husband has an awl at home, you could use that. You don't want something that's incredibly thick, though. Like, I don't have it here anymore. I used to have like a little awl that I stole from my husband's workbench that I used, but the holes of that were really too thick. But to get you started, you know, don't let anything hold you back. All right, we're going down through the middle again. Oh my goodness. I'm just really wanting to sew that template in there, aren't I? That's why I told you sometimes the talking, being conscious of what I'm saying, how I'm telling you to do something, and actually doing it are two different things. Okay, through the middle, out the back here, leaving enough of a tail. About that is good. And then we're gonna go in the back of the top. You could go to the bottom next if you prefer. It really doesn't matter. The result will be the same. Okay, come on. I'm at a weird angle here so you can see. Okay, again, make sure you're tight, and make sure your thread also didn't get caught up in these binder clip clamp things. Okay, now we're gonna go back through the middle. We're gonna go back through the middle. All right, we're gonna have to do the cheating method. And that's totally okay. Come on. There we go. See, just be aware of that. I find though, even if I go like that, it still happens. Just be aware. All right, now we're going to come up the bottom from the back. And then back down through the middle. And when you're doing that back through the middle, this can be a little difficult, try not to split the thread, because sometimes that can actually make the thread break. So try to go on the side of it. All right, and I'm gonna wrap around the top. Pull it tight. and then back in from the back through. There we go. Okay, and then you can cut it off and do your 3 knots. Whoop. 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll snip that off. Okay, let's get these clamps off so we can see how we're looking here. Cannot wait to use this journal. Okay, see what I mean now? But because it's because it's such a wide mouth, I needed to give that space in here. But there was a definite method to my madness, there wasn't there? Okay, so now what I'm going to have to do is line this up and make sure this is where I need it, and then glue this down in the book. But I think, I've been debating, do I want to glue the back on here or not? I think, do I or don't I? I think I do. Yep, I do. Okay. See? There's my big alligator mouth. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I've got this where I need it on that side. Whew, it's warm in here. Okay, what I'm gonna do first is to get my glue on the back piece. I really have got to get my new Fabri-Tac out and refill one of those bottles. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Excitement for me. I had a message from my son's fiance inviting me the end of August to go wedding dress shopping in Chicago. I am over the moon about it. I'm so excited to go. It's like my dream come true because I have no girls. Oops. I have no girls, so I've never been able to prom dress shop with a girl. I've, not been able to do the girly things, but this is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. And she's just such a beautiful girl. I can't imagine how she is ever going to choose a wedding gown because she's going to make everything look wonderful. She's very thin. She's got just beautiful porcelain skin. She's going to just look like a lovely, lovely bride. Okay, I'm going to kind of hold this for a while. All right, let's start gluing the flaps down. I don't know if there's a technical term for these, but I call them flaps. This is where they do make actual book cradles. I don't know if they're helpful for doing this kind of thing or not, or if you can get in there or not, but it would be helpful to have something to hold your signatures. I don't know that I really have anything to help me with that. I tend to get in here now with the bone folder to mush this down. Make sure all that glue is down there well. Okay, I can feel that that's working good. I'm gonna turn it around now and do the other side. And then once it's adhered, then I can go back in and check for anything that's loose. I'm kind of away from you, aren't I? Oh, come on. All right. Let's try that. Where's the cap? Here it is. All right, let's get that bone folder back out. Make sure it's in there. And this side's a little more difficult because this is the front where those buttons are. I can see a piece here that I'm going to want to cut already. In fact, I'm going to do that right now because I've got my little scissors right here. And then what I can do is come in here with, this is called fray check. If you put it on the edge of fabric, it stops it from fraying or pulling apart. Whoop. Hopefully this isn't all gunked up. It might be. Look at that. Wow. Gross. You must have tipped over at one point. But this way that won't fray. Do it on the other side too. Now the end papers are going to be on the top of this, but since I had it out, why not, right? Okay. Let's clear the deck a little bit. I think what I'll do is I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And then, or I wonder, yeah, I'm going to let this dry a little bit and then we can come back and put the end papers on. So stay tuned. All right, so let me make sure I'm recording here, and I am. So this is how I ended up propping up my pages so I could make sure everything was glued down. It still hasn't dried completely, so I will go ahead though and put on the end papers. So let's see here. I was trying to figure out which one I wanted at the front and which one I wanted at the back, and it really doesn't matter. So I'm hoping this works and that this is thick enough. We're gonna find out. I am still going to keep this somewhat propped up so that I can work well. So I hope you can see okay. Where's my gluing paper? Right here. So keep your fingers crossed. We're going to see how this works. I'm going to want to make sure I've got it up as close to the edges as possible so that it stays down well. Make sure you're not missing any spots. And I try to make sure that if I've got anything that's kind of globby, that I work that out a little bit so it doesn't stay that way, I guess. Well, let's try this one. Get it positioned where I wanted it. Make sure I'm smushing it down in there. So far, so good. And even the area that I was worried about is working out okay. Awesome. Oh, that makes me so happy. I might need to come back in and touch up some of that. In fact, I think I'll do that right now. Where is, I'm going to come in here with the small needle of the art glitter glue so I can do this. I hope you can see this okay. Get under there well. Even if the art glitter glue peeks out a little bit, that's okay because it dries clear. These edges are all fine. I'm gonna get in under there a little better. Oh, this is working out well. I'm pleased, I'm pleased. Oh, very pleased. Let's see. That needs a little injection. A glue injection. All right. This is working out great. I'm so excited. So excited. Okay. I'm going to keep this like this. And then we can do the other side, like how I keep my Aleene's glue. All right. Let's do this one. I'm going to slide this over. Gonna hold this up with the handle of the cup. Make sure that's right side up. That would be a heartbreak if you glued it on upside down. Oh, this is just working out so beautifully. It's gonna be so pretty. I can see out of the corner of my eye out the window, my husband is out there admiring his handiwork of putting up my bird feeder post, I should say. The feeders aren't on it yet. Bless his heart for doing that for me. I love watching birds. At my mom's house, she's got tons of birds, hummingbirds, Baltimore Orioles, and all kinds of stuff. I love sitting at her kitchen table and watching the birds out the window. Okay. Let's try this one. Try to make sure I don't get this all over my fingers. Go up just a little bit. There we go. All right. Get this out. Squish down the edges really good. This side's harder because of those pearl buttons again. So I've got my hand under here so it's got pressure on both sides. Otherwise, it's a little hard. Okay. Oh, terrific. All right. Now I can see a point where I need to do another injection. Right there. That's good. Are there any others? I don't think so. This may be a little. Maybe here. Yep. Oh, yay. Can't get my needle in again. I cannot do anything left-handed. All right, it's the moment of truth. Here we go. I need to sew the button on here and I want to hang some charms yet. But I do love how this has turned out. My fat chunky monkey. And now I can put in, see what I mean? It's like an accordion file. It's the feel I wanted it to have. But where are my pages to put my, here we go. This goes in here, tucks up in there. This goes here. And then my letter goes where? Where's the page? I thought it went in here. Maybe it's in the middle one. Yep. There we go. I can put this side out. There we go. And I'll be able to fill it up with even more, the entire goal. So now I need to finish up the other journal that I will be selling, and I'll do, when I've got that one done, I'll do a flip through of both so that you can see. And I haven't decided if, nah, this one's too big, but I had debated maybe putting a doily on here too, and then maybe that piece. Oh, I do kind of like that. That's kind of pretty, isn't it? To kind of break that up a little bit, and I can still see the pearl buttons through here. I might do that. That just makes it look so delicate. I definitely may do that. Okay. Tuck myself right into it. With this or without it. The other thing that I could do, let's see, oops, is, ooh, I have, so excited I can't open the bag now. I have these. I've been dying to use these too. Oh, wow. Okay. Bam. Yep. And there it is. I love that. Okay, well, I'll finish that up, and this will be coming up in a flip through. But I thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful to give you some inspiration to use an article of clothing or a piece of fabric or something that's meaningful to you. And if it's not something you wear or use anymore, you can repurpose it in a junk journal so that you are able to enjoy it forevermore. And then someday your family will find it down the road and they will think it's just as wonderful as you do. Thank you again for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day.